good evening. Although I shall not be present at this historic podcast recording, I present this in the hope that our great listeners may learn to live in peace.
Retro systems online. Reflux capacitor fluxing. Scanning movie space-time for Escape from New York, 1981. Rewinding in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome, Rewinders and new listeners, to the Retro Rewind podcast, where we take a fresh look at movies and games from 15 or more years ago. I'm your captain of the pod, Francisco Ruiz, and I'm joined by your XO and mine, Paul, the PaulJPowers.com. He's the Duke Powers. Are you A number one, Paul?
A number one.
Also, for this discussion of the film Escape from New York, we welcome back aboard Administration Officer of the pod, Ashley Ruiz. Hey, Ashley.
Aloha all.
Aloha to you, Ashley. And in addition, we are glad to have back aboard Chief Engineer of the pod, Drake Tungsten. Hey, Drake.
Hello.
Hello, hello. And finally, we have one more crucial part of the podcast. You listening right now. And though you may not be a guest, you still get to have a say in the movies we cover on the show. Right now at firejoystudios.com/vote, you can find the link to vote on the movies you want us to review in the second quarter of 2026. There are some bangers like Rocky and Short Circuit, and some more sleepers like Cloak and Dagger and Flight of Dragons among the 14 movies to vote on. So you have until March 15th, 2026, a few days after this episode drops, to vote at firejoystudios.com/vote. And now that you have a quick flyby of who we are and the longish overview of getting out the vote, Paul, could you give us an overview of the production specs for Escape from New York?
All right. Yeah. The Addams Family in New York is the first episode in the animated series of The Addams Family, which was released on, it debuted September 8th, 1973. Yes.
What? Addams Family? What are you talking about?
Well,
hey, you were expecting maybe the Addams Family?
Yeah, Donnie, we have Ashley on here and we have Drake Tungsten. And they've been on when we reviewed the Addams Family and you said New York. So the Addams Family in New York, right?
Okay, I could see the confusion there. But we're actually doing Escape from New York, which does not have the Addams Family in it at all.
Boo.
Oh, well,
that could have been brought to my attention yesterday.
Fine. I'll go back.
Thank you.
And watch this. All right. I didn't give up, and we're thirsty for more because we're reviewing Home Alone 2 Lost in New York, which was released November 15th, 1992. It's rated PG and runs 2 hours and exactly 0 minutes. It was directed by Chris Columbus and written by... Yeah. You didn't even let me get to John Williams. What?
This is wrong again, though. This is not John Williams. This is a much better composer.
Oh, wait. That's impossible. There's no such thing. I don't know where to go to from here.
Escape from New York. That is the name of the movie. Not Home Alone, not Addams Family, not Escape from Paradise, not Escape from LA. Escape from New York.
Is that with Kurt Russell as Snakes?
Yes.
What? Hold on. Harry, does that sound right to you?
Snakes. I don't know no snakes.
Sorry, we're lost in New York over here. We have to escape? Fine. Hold on, Kurt Russell. We're coming your way.
It's on the reflexes.
All right. Let's go to Little China. No, we already did that. Okay, let's stay in New York. Yeah. All right. Escape from New York was released July 10th, 1981. Are we on the right movie now?
Yes, thank you.
All right. It runs an hour, 39 minutes. It's rated R. It is directed by John Carpenter, written by John Carpenter and Nick, the Last Starfighter Castle.
Yeah.
With lead stars being Kurt Russell, Lee Van Cleef, Ernest Borgnine, Donald Pleasance, and Isaac Hayes. And music was composed by John Carpenter and Alan Howarth. I didn't see Alan's name in the credits, but anyway. You ready for the box office trivia?
I am ready. Ashley and Drake, are you ready?
Sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. Anyone in chat can join as well. Go for it, Paul.
All right. Escape from New York was made for about $6 million and earned over $25 million at the box office.
Very nice.
So given this fact, how high in the box office do you think it ranks among the movies released theatrically in 1981?
All right. Let's see. Top 100, top 50. Do you have a range for us?
Top 71. I'll be nice to you and go to the top 50.
Okay. All right, Ashley, where would you say it ranks in the top 50?
48.
Wow.
That's pretty good. 49 and 50 are still there.
Yeah.
I was being generous.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. Drake, how about you?
23.
23.
81's got some bangers. Don't forget that Raiders came out this year.
I know. I know.
Yeah.
And plus, Francisco came out this year. So, I mean, that's
Well, there
like
you go.
number one.
Limited edition.
A number one right here. Okay. I am going to guess. I don't know. I'm going to guess my age of 34.
You are not 34.
So, Paul,
Add 10 to that.
where did it end up?
Well, according to the-numbers.com, Escape from New York came in right at 32.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So I win?
Yes.
Woohoo! Yes.
Yay.
I am the Duke.
Good strategy there.
Yeah, it paid off for you for certain.
Oh, yeah.
It was bold.
How can I lose?
Indeed.
But thank you for those factoids, Paul. And let's see if any of them factor into our memory mind meld or subsequent roundtable discussion, which we'll get into once Alice has located our target film.
Alert. Alert. Target located. Spoilers incoming. Establishing analysis vector.
If he climbs over the wall, they'll blow him off. If he tries to fly over the river, they'll shoot him down. If he comes back alone, they'll explode his brain. New York, 1997. One man has 24 hours to break in and break out before it's too late for escape. John Carpenter's Escape from New York. Rated R.
Persons under 17 not admitted without parent or guardian now playing. Check.
Oh, man, I can't be admitted without a guardian. Shoes, because, I'm under 17 and all.
I was in 1981.
Add 10 to that, Paul, and you're accurate.
Oh, my gosh. So that commercial definitely brought back some memories, probably, about Escape from New York. But to give you some context for the things we collectively remembered before our rewatch or first time watch of Escape from New York, here's your memory mind meld synopsis for this film. The president's plane crashes into the island of Dino Hatton, which is now a prison. The computer who wore tennis shoes goes overboard to rescue President Donald Pleasance from New York City. Manhattan Island, specifically, not the entire city, I guess, which has been turned into an open-air prison, much like today. Oh, wow. Despite probably voting for the other guy, but Solid Snake Plissken with eye patch gets in big trouble with the chef from South Park, who is now the king of New York. After some explosions and some Ernest Borgnine, the bridge is out. A tape will need a tombstone. Wow. Okay. Based on those memories, I would say our memories were a bit decepted. But based on those memories, as flawed as they clearly were, what range did they lead you to predict for Escape from New York before your rewatch? Classic, nostalgic, or tragic? And when do you remember first seeing this film? Let's start with Drake this time. What was your prediction, and when do you first remember seeing it?
My prediction was classic. And when did I first see this? That's a very interesting thing because I saw it and then I had forgotten I saw it and I went to watch it again another time for the first time, but it wasn't the first time because I saw it. I'm like, wait, I have seen this before. This is very odd. I don't know how that happened, but I went to watch it. I was like, oh yeah, I remember this. So I've watched it, I think, twice before, just for the show. So this, I think, is my third time seeing it.
Well, when I was asking when you saw it.
When I first saw it, I think it was mid-90s.
Okay, mid-90s. Nice.
He has no clue. He doesn't remember the first time seeing it. He only remembers the second time watching it going, I've seen this.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Ashley, what was your prediction? And when did you first see this?
Well, here's the thing. I have a complicated relationship with John Carpenter movies. And based on what I've already experienced from John Carpenter movies, leaving something desperately to be desired, my initial rating was tragic because I've never seen this movie before. I've had zero desire to see this movie, much like most of John Carpenter's movies. But because there was an opening in the crew for tonight, and you're like, Ashley, I really need you on the podcast. Help me, wife.
Help me, Ashley.
Help me.
You're my only hope.
Pretty much. So Sunday was the first time I watched it. So had never seen it, had no desire to see it, and now I've seen it.
All right. Cool beans.
Welcome to the podcast, Ashley.
Paul, what was your prediction? When did you first see this? And I seem to think that this was your first time watching it as well, but I could be wrong.
You are correct.
Oh, okay.
I have never seen this before watching this for the podcast. But everyone that has seen it has told me that they liked it better than the second one, or Escape from Los Angeles.
That's very common, yes.
That's the consensus.
So, and I hadn't really heard any negative thing about it. So I predicted classic.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And right before I was sitting down, I heard the first negative thing, and that was from my wife, who saw it a long time ago, and she said, "Yeah, I didn't like that movie."
More on that later.
Yeah.
For me, I remember seeing this probably in the early 2000s at first because I started. It may have even been the 2010s because I got into this just like I really liked John Carpenter and I started collecting his Shout Factory Steel books. And so I've just been liking his movies more and more, the ones I've seen. However, this is sort of in the middle of the pack of the ones I've seen. So I actually rated it or predicted nostalgic for this review, for my prediction. So we're all across the board, tragic and nostalgic, two classics. So it'll be interesting to see if those predictions come true. But first, let's get into the things we liked most about Escape from New York. Spin up our
best bits.
Yes, the things we liked most and our best bits are brought to you by none other than Paul J. Powers at pauljpowers.com.
Before I go on any mission, or if I want everyone to think I'm dead, I first make sure I'm sponsored by pauljpowers.com, just like this stream.
That's the way to go, Snake. Very good, very good. Oh, my word. All right, guys. So let's start with some of the things we liked about Escape from New York. Let's start with Ashley. What is one thing you liked about this film?
I was surprised by how much I actually liked Ernest Borgnine's character, Cabby.
Oh, really, Cabby?
Yeah, because he was just sweet and simple. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what did this sweet old man do to get himself here?
I've wondered that too. I don't know.
And the fact that I don't know maybe is for the better because like, I thought he was just very endearing and sweet, and how he's like, oh, you're Snake Plissken. I'm just going to help you I thought you were dead, but he just had this desire to help him, not really knowing the full details of everything that was going on. And I just thought he was sweet. And I liked that he really enjoyed music and he found a way to hang on, even though he was living in this prison with so many other criminals and he found a way to keep on keeping on, and I found that really sweet.
Yeah, you know what's funny about that? Because you've mentioned in your past that there was one person I think you worked with, and they didn't like you, but you like sort of killed them with kindness.
Yeah, it took 7 years.
Yeah.
She really didn't like me for the longest time because I don't know, maybe it was my infectious joy back then, but yeah, no, she was a little more on the darker side, always wore black, was just almost like goth, like punk aesthetic. And just for whatever reason, just me smiling and existing was enough to just make her go, I don't know about that. But yeah, by the end, she would always say hello to me and ask me how my day was going. So yeah, it took some time. But the fact that Cabby just wants to connect with Snake like right out the gate, and it's just I can be helpful for you, and he just kind of inserts himself in, and it's just it's like not really a question. It's like maybe Snake is like, oh, I could use you. I'm going to use you to my benefit, but at the same time, like he was willing, and he was like the happiest person in the entire movie,
absolutely.
And we don't know how long he had been in that prison.
Yeah. My goodness.
Ernest Borgnine is definitely one of the best things about this movie.
Was that one of your likes, Paul?
No, in fact, surprisingly not.
Oh, okay. Well, what was one of your likes?
I was actually one of the first things that I liked is that you were in this movie, Francisco.
I was,
that was pleasantly surprised. You came out, kind of did your little prance out with your anime like blonde hair sticking up, and you said,
"Touch me, he dies. Been on the air in 30 seconds, he dies. You come back in, he dies."
So it was really pleasant to see you in this movie.
Romero, I'm Romero is what you're saying.
You have the hair. Not right now. I don't know where. I thought maybe
you put it on. No. What was I thinking?
Nope.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so you like that character. You thought he was fun. Okay, very nice. He's actually I find this interesting. He's actually was a character in an earlier John Carpenter movie, Assault on Precinct 13, where he is one of the bad guys. And so he liked working with him so much they brought him in for this movie. So just, I think, a fun little tidbit. But I'm more curious in what maybe little tidbit Drake enjoyed about Escape from New York. Go for it, Drake.
Let's see. For me, there's one interesting thing that I do want to mention that I liked. It had sort of a nostalgic feel to it because of it being 1981, and there's a certain sort of the way things look, right? Back then, like the street lights,
the film grain.
Well, not just the film grain, but the street lights have this like green tint to them. There's like a green the screen, like not screen, but like the windows on the buses are like green, so it looks green when the light shines through it. There was just sort of this green thing going on, like the bridge at the end has green paint, and there was just like everything was green in the late 70s, and it's kind of
like the Matrix.
Yes, somewhat, although usually not that color, but yeah, it's similar, and there is a little bit of that with some of the computer graphics too. So it's just sort of weird aesthetic that I kind of like and feel nostalgic for.
So here's a bonus fun fact. Okay. Did you listen to the commentary, Francisco?
I've listened to the John Carpenter, Kurt Russell commentary a while ago. But this time I listened to the Dean Cundey, Adrienne Barbeau commentary. Dean Cundey being the director of photography.
I listened to the director Kurt Russell halfway through, so I didn't get all the way through. But the fun fact is that it wasn't computer generated; it was actually hand drawn animation.
Okay, I heard something different from that. What I heard was they actually had a miniature model. They did that as black. Well. And then
they did that. Sorry to interrupt you.
Okay.
They did the model, and then they painted it black, and then they painted lines, the green, like glow in the dark lines on that as well. There were different techniques, but it was all hand done. But no computers. He claimed he didn't have the budget for it.
Yeah.
In 1981, he probably did.
Exactly.
I mean, they would have been really expensive.
One of the matte painters was actually James Cameron. On this movie, so that's another cool thing.
That's right.
Okay, so the look, that's definitely something that I enjoyed as well, but it didn't make my like list. Instead, I actually, and this is probably a nostalgic thing, though I think it's more in vogue now, but I mean, I enjoy John Carpenter as a composer. I really liked him and Alan Howarth's collaboration on this one. I liked all the music except for the main theme. Dun, 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 dun. I feel like it's almost too cheery for this type of movie. I don't know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it just seemed like a song precinct 13.
I'm glad you hate this movie so much you turned a like into a dislike.
Oh my God, that's not what I was trying to say. I was just trying to say I liked the score overall, except for that. And I didn't realize that the little sing-songy show that the prisoners sing in the theater,
stage doing their
that is actually those lyrics were written by Nick Castle apparently, which was I thought that was a fun.
And he was playing the piano in that scene. Nick Castle was.
Okay, I didn't know that.
In universe,
and the director was doing the violin.
Oh, okay, that's awesome. All right, so that was my first like. Let's go back to Ashley. What's something else you enjoyed about this film?
Oh goodness, what else did I like? So I really liked the world building in the world that we see beyond the prison wall, just how these prisoners are living their lives, the kind of community, the groups that they've built, just how things are just dark and gritty. And it's the perfect dystopian environment, just seeing people factioned off that even though they're in prison and there's no guards except on the outside, that they kind of fall in line under this ruler, so to speak, this Duke figure, and how everyone is falling into factions and doing what they need to. So I just thought it was so interesting. The writing and how it leads to all this just immersive experience and watching these people in this prison and really kind of seeing it going,
Yeah, and like I listening to the commentary, I didn't realize that essentially you have the underdweller people that come out,
the crazies,
and then there's this faction called the Indians, which are the ones in the world. The Indians, which are
the ones that are
trade.
shooting at the jet,
and so I thought most of them were working for the Duke, but you're right, there are these different factions that. So I just thought that's a very cool element for sure.
Speaking of world building, I thought.
Well, were you done, Ashley? Or okay, go ahead, Paul.
The beginning at the beginning they set up the world, the movie, and they explained how New York was like, or at least Manhattan was separated, had the wall around. They did like the maps and everything to show you. Right at the beginning, I thought it was really well explained. I'm like, okay, let's get into this. Was really well done. Like a good explanation of where we are in the world and how things are. So good on them for that. Which is not easy to do. A lot of movies don't do that very well.
Yeah. They either take too long or don't give you enough, and you're like, where?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Was that your next like, Paul? Or is
no? I was just adding to Ashley's.
You're adding on to Ashley's. Okay. Well, I'm gonna then go back to Drake. What's something else you like, Drake?
What's something else that I liked? I mean, I liked. I kind of like the concept of it. You know, like we got to sneak in and it's this like New York's been turned into a prison, which sounds really silly if you think about it, but it's kind of interesting. You know what I mean? It's like a science fiction thing, right?
No, I don't know what you mean. It doesn't sound silly at all.
Doesn't sound silly at all, right? But it's that over the top, just sort of the concept and just, you know, guns ablazing kind of thing. That that was what attracted me to watching the movie in the first place.
Yeah. I like the element of like sort of it's not espionage so much, but yeah, he has to sneak in to this city that is a prison. It's almost like you see like cop dramas where they'll send in the cop undercover into the prison. It's very different than that, but that's sort of kind of the gist. So anyway,
well,
it's kind of like a stealth mission, like Metal Gear.
Yes, that's about
right. Because I thought he was like, oh, this is like a war hero that, you know, he did something bad. But when listening to the commentary, it's supposed to be like, no, he's a really bad guy that they're sending, and they have no other choice but to use him.
Right.
And it's like, I get the fact that they didn't want to use him, but they feel they have no other choice. But I thought he was like a misunderstood war hero rather than No, he's a really bad guy, and everybody thinks he's dead because like he's such a bad guy that everybody wanted him dead.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't remember that from the commentary. I remember more like a scene that was cut from the film was sort of a setup for his character where him and a
robs
friend
the bank.
Are stealing from a bank. Yeah, So I thought that was the main reason he was being
right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Going in, watching it for the first time, I thought he was like, a misunderstood war hero.
Oh, gotcha.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. For me, the next thing I liked was also of these, and this goes to the world building, I think, that you were saying, Ashley, all the little details, like there's this oil derrick in the library that's just sort of in the background, but it sort of totally lends credence to Brain being the one that's like providing the Duke with oil or the resources he needs. Then you have the chandeliers on Duke's like limo, which is so ridiculous, but that seems like so right for that character to have something like that. I love that. Just touches like that I thought really added to the overall the world building. So I enjoyed that. I think, Paul, that leaves you for one more like before we get to Classic Makers.
Yeah. I don't like jump scares.
Okay.
But this movie has a couple of them and it's really well done. Like the way they time things with the music. I can think of at least two things where it was like a jump scare kind of thing and it was really well done.
Oh, I don't remember them, but okay.
Well, that's because you're used to it. You're used to it.
That could very well be it. Yes.
So the first time I'm watching, like when he first goes into the theater, like not the theater, he's still in the World Trade Center, and he's like, "Okay, I'm in." And then he's looking around in the background. You see someone walk by, and the music cues like, that's one of those. And there's another kind that's like that. That's just. I thought it was I thought it was really well done. It's very simple. It's a loud music thing, but it works very effectively. So I'm giving props for it.
All right. Very fair. Okay. Now, based on hearing everyone's likes, I have a sense of what most people's classic makers are.
Do you?
I do.
You think
but Drake, let's start with you. What's your classic maker for
my classic maker is I'm going to go with the music. I know you already mentioned the music, but I'm going to go with the music because I like the synth. Fine. The synth in it was just...
But you hate the theme, right? Everything else is great, but the theme just doesn't work.
I actually kind of like that part. The non-synth stuff, I suppose I didn't like as much, but it was still good. It was still good. I didn't hate it. But yeah, I remember
like the music from the tape.
Yeah, the music from the tape was probably the one I didn't like the least, but it wasn't bad.
Oh, that's the one I like the most.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's good music. It's just, it's the what I didn't like about it was it was kind of incongruous, but it was supposed to be, so it's fine, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know, I did like it, but I really, really like the synth stuff in it. And again, it's that whole nostalgic 80s feel to me. It just brings back that feeling. So
absolutely.
You know, I can't say that for everyone that would be their, you know, a reason, because nostalgia is a particular thing, but I liked it.
Very cool. All right. Ashley, let's go to you next. What's your classic maker for Escape from New York?
Okay. My classic maker was the set and costume design. Honestly, like these sets were so intricately built, just seeing how they showcase like the World Trade Center and just all the different locations within New York that they traveled to, from the library to that theater to World Trade Center and so many places in between, the bridge scene. Just the sets were so intricately designed and interesting, and just the aesthetic of most of these people kind of being like in this dangerous punk rock aesthetic. And it's just so interesting, the level of detail that goes into the set design and the costume design and just how the characters look in the world in which they exist. I thought it was very well done.
Awesome.
And I'm willing to bet Francisco is wrong about his prediction about everybody's classic maker.
Yeah, I am. I am dead wrong, Paul. You got it.
Because mine is totally different than those two.
Okay. I will say they apparently got special permission from St. Louis to film there because there is a part of the city that had a fire recently. So that's why it looks so sort of dystopian and run down. But I think that made it even come to life, so to speak, even more that this was a real place or real New York.
Yeah.
Turning tragedy into opportunity.
Exactly. Yeah,
Good job, team.
All right, Paul. Well, let's see what your classic maker is and see maybe you and me have the same one.
I doubt it, but but my classic maker is the use and the execution of the ticking clock in the story.
Yes, that's always something that I like when I'm seeing it being used. I wish. Sorry, I'm totally talking over your classic.
No,
maker,
go for it. No, well, I was about to say it's when it's well done, it's really well done, and it's hard to make it well done. And this one actually has two, because the president has to deliver something by a certain time, and Snake has to, in order to get that, he has to deliver it in time, otherwise he'll die because of the explosions inside. Yeah. So exactly. as a story writer, it's really hard to do that effectively, and I think this movie does it very well.
You mean
so
supposed to
go
like
ahead and add on
Star Wars when the timer was like all wrong.
Right.
Oh, in the Battle of Yavin or somewhere?
Yeah, the Battle of Yavin, the timer was like completely off.
Oh, yeah. Okay, gotcha. I will say that the only thing I don't think they would have done this back then. I think they could have, but I think stylistically it wasn't in anyone's minds to do this back then. I wish they would just show him looking at the watch, but then in like the lower corner or one of the corners, you actually see the time so that we're not getting a full shot of the watch each time. I don't think you need that. Maybe one time to establish and then just having the corner whenever he's looking. And
I think that's a stylistic choice because I think there would be people that maybe myself would be like, I don't think you need that in the corner the whole time.
Nope.
Well, no, not in the corner. Just when he's looking at the watch.
It's not an episode of 24, Francis.
Exactly. I was about to say, if he had like an hour and a half to get it, then like, okay, that would be cool. Like, I could see that.
So like I'm saying, it's not throughout the whole movie. It's just instead of the full shot of the watch, just have it in the lower left whenever he's looking at the watch. Like you see just him looking at the watch.
No, I like it. It's part of my classic maker.
Okay, fine. Well, very much related to that is my classic maker. You're right. I was completely wrong. My classic maker is Kurt Russell. I love Kurt Russell and lots of John Carpenter movies, and this is one of my favorite. I think I like him a little bit better as McCready in The Thing. But he's also good as Jack Brown. I don't know. I'm torn.
He's very different. He's a very good actor.
He's so different in each of these roles.
Right.
I liked him in Lost in Space.
Yeah. What? He was in Lost in Space?
Yeah, that was his first role, I think. He
was. You mean the TV series?
The original TV series.
I was thinking the '90s movie.
No, not the movie. No.
He voiced an alien in that.
No, he was one of the. He was in one of the black and white episodes.
Okay, wow.
I thought that was Matt LeBlanc this whole time.
Yeah, right.
But I thought he was a great anti-hero. I was rooting for him, even though he wasn't really like someone all that worth rooting for. But I think you really see his heart or his humanity come out at the end when he doesn't just leave Maggie like, oh, she's staying there. Okay, bye. He tries to get her like, come on, you don't have to die here. But she decides to say to like avenge Brain. What was his name that he's like, don't call me that? Harold. So I really liked Kurt Russell in this role. So that was my classic maker. And so you're right. No one else thought Kurt Russell was good in this. That's fine, guys. That's just fine.
Kurt Russell's good in other things.
Used cars. He's great in used cars.
Let's not go there ever.
Okay. Well, now that you know the things that we liked most about Escape from New York, let's talk about something that you may not know. Some trivia about Escape from New York.
Okay, now cue the music and that star thing.
And today's trivia is brought to you by the Cellcast. The Cellcast, hosted by Jacob and Drew, review animated movies and TV shows, discussing what they appreciate about the medium in whatever form it takes. Whether it is a traditional hand-drawn animated movie, a claymation short, or a 3D CGI series, check out some animated reviews. And when you subscribe to The Cellcast at thecellcast.podbean.com. And don't forget, Cell is spelled with a C and a single L at thecellcast.podbean.com.
Now we know. And knowing is half the battle.
Escape from New York. So here's the trivia for you guys. Did you all realize that the name Snake Plissken was changed to Hyena for the Italian release, so Hyena Plissken, and Cobra in South Korea, so Cobra's Plissken?
Did the tattoo of the snake on his front look like a hyena?
Right? I don't think they would have changed
the Italian.
Right? No, why hyena?
Right.
But with that in mind, if you had to go by the name of an animal that is native to the region of your ethnic background, and if you have multiple ethnic backgrounds, choose one, it's fine. What would your name be? And you could have ideally a real animal, but if it has to be a mythical animal, that's fine too. Let's begin with Paul.
Okay, so the last name Powers comes from Ireland. At least my great-grandfather came directly from Ireland. But when you study the history of the name, you have to go back. If you go back a few hundred years, it's from Ireland. But if you go back even further, it actually, a few hundred more years, it actually comes from the area of France.
Oh, okay.
So the animal from France, I guess, the Gaelic rooster.
Okay. So Rooster Powers.
So Rooster, I guess, would call me Rooster, which is, I think, the villain from Annie. But
it
anyway.
It's Miss Hannigan's brother. Now I'm just thinking about Tim Curry.
Yes.
Yes.
That's funny. All right. Ashley, how about you?
Okay, well, I'm basing this off of my maiden name because I don't know the whole history of Ruiz. I've only had it for a little while, and it's not technically my ethnic background.
Yeah.
So we are going to go with my maiden name of Kronenberger, which is German. And looking in Germany, I was looking like what animals are like indigenous to Germany, like the region where my family is from, which is outside Frankfurt. And I'm like, you know what? This sounds cool. The Eurasian lynx. I'm like, I like big cats, so call me Lynx.
Lynx Kronenberger. Or Lynx Ruiz. Nice.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. I wanted one syllable. All the others I found, I'm like, okay, Italy's cool too, because I'm a quarter Italian on my mom's side. But I'm like, wolf, sparrow, those are lame. Yeah. The lynx sounds super cool. Plus, it's a big cat. And you know how much I like cats.
Indeed. Very cool. All right.
Speaking of cats.
Okay.
What, Paul?
I said, speaking of cats.
Oh.
There you go.
Go for it, Drake.
Yeah, so I'm of Norwegian ancestry. So
okay.
Yeah, so I kind of have to go with a fictional, very famous Norwegian animal called the Norwegian blue.
Ooh, okay.
Old blue.
You know, the beautiful plumage. You know, that's.
I don't know what one looks like, but okay.
Is it some sort of bird?
It doesn't actually exist. It's from a Monty Python skit.
Oh my God.
Oh, it's your favorite.
So you say it sounds like a bird. It sounds like it would fly in circles with African and European swallows.
Don't make this worse, Ashley.
I'm trying to help.
Suede Knight Bobo in chat says Bobcat for me, but it's kind of a cop out for my past name. Yeah,
I mean, I could have gone with Drake.
That's true. Yes.
Right.
Oh my word!
Great trivia, Francisco.
Thank you, Paul.
And now that we've all had some trivial fun, let's find out what else irks Francisco. No.
I'll have plenty that will make this list that he will not be. It will irk him and he won't be happy later.
Oh, he may not be happy. All right, then let's find out what memories you, the Rad Rewinders, had about Escape from New York.
Let's do it. All right, so first, extracted from X, NASA Jimmy says, I escaped my hometown to enlist in the Air Force. Does that count? No, it does not.
If your hometown is New York, it might.
Oh, good point, yes.
Yeah. At Guidance says, first time watching this bad boy, and I was excited to find out the inspiration to Snake from Metal Gear. It was impressive on what the crew did to make this film with around $5 million. The chandeliers on top of Duke's car were fun. I need to mod that in my car in real life. The rest of the film is just cheeks. Snake didn't do anything cool, just average in my opinion. I enjoyed it more after watching the reaction videos to this film and should not have taken the film too seriously. I enjoyed looking back at the silly parts. I'd rather play Metal Gear Solid 2. Hashtag tragic.
Tragic. All right.
He was all over the map on that one.
Then finally from Facebook, Who Will Save Generation X podcast says, I remember to always call him Snake.
Yeah, I didn't get that. At the beginning, he says, call me Snake. And at the end, he says, call me Plisket. So
I think it's here. So I have two thoughts on that. One, it's to show he's grown and he's not just identified as this, like, just an animal, or he's always contrarian to Lee Van Cleef's character, the warden guy. He's like, whatever you call me, I'm going to do the opposite. I don't know.
That feels more like what I was picking up.
That was my thought.
He just wants to be a charlatan. He's just like, I want to be cavalier. Whatever you want, I want the opposite. I'm really a 5-year-old toddler. I'm like a 4-year-old toddler.
Yeah, it didn't make sense to me. I'm like, is he trying to be like, oh, maybe he's warming up to Van Cleef now so he can call him Pliss? Anyway. Yeah. So going back to Facebook, Jeremy Shields says, I've never seen it, but I know it was the inspiration for Solid Snake.
All right.
Is that who Mega Man fights? Snake Man? Solid? Because he's pretty solid.
Solid Snake is from Metal Gear Solid, Paul.
Oh.
At least.
Wait, the game. Sorry, I'm an older school gamer. I thought it was called Metal Gear. It's called Metal Gear Solid?
Metal Gear is the 2 NES games. Metal Gear Solid is the PlayStation game that most people know Metal Gear from. Most people don't think of the NES games.
So is Snake also in the Nintendo version, or just in the?
Yes, I think that's the same character.
Yeah, I've played it,
but most people only know him from. Okay.
Yeah, I've only played the NES one, so.
Okay.
I have
so,
zero.
Yes, and
me
his
too.
name is Snake in that as well.
Yeah, and I remember defeating Snake Man several times, so that's where I know him from. But he didn't look at all like this guy. This guy looked more like a G.I. Joe knockoff, one of those guys.
Oh my gosh. Well, welcome, Paul Nguyen, also. Welcome here. Thank you for sharing your memories, everyone. And I guess Jeremy Shields' memory and also guidance a bit sort of leads us into things maybe we didn't like so much about Escape from New York. Some reasons to maybe call it a tragic. So let's get into that.
Worst woes.
And our worst woes of Escape from New York are sponsored by Captain Tragic himself, Francisco.
Wait,
and you can join him in our Discord community at firejoystudios.com/Discord.
That is a misnomer. I am not Captain Tragic, and I said this on stream a while ago. I'm gonna start marking every movie, whether it's one of my classics, one of my nostalgic tracks, do that for every Paul and every guest, so that you'll see when you go to the tag for Francisco's Classics is way longer than Francisco's Tragics, and then you can't call me Captain Tragic anymore.
I just need to compile a list of all your tragics.
Yeah, I was about to say, it sounds like something the Warlord would do.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a deep cut for a different audience, but okay. All right, fine, guys. But let's get into things we didn't like so much about, I was going to say Metal Gear Solid, about Escape from New York.
Oh, my.
And let's begin with, I'll start with this. And I liked Cabby as a character, but I thought he was too convenient. He was like too Deus Ex Machina. Like whenever Snake needed him, he just was there.
He just popped up out of, where have you been?
Yeah, yeah. I felt like that was a little too contrived, I guess. That doesn't take anything away from Ernest Borgnine or how he played the character. I think that's more of a script issue than him.
Yeah.
So that's
Cabby's
my first
too convenient.
Yeah, exactly.
Too convenient Cabby.
I agree with that.
Yep. Ashley, what wasn't super convenient about this movie for you?
Where do I begin?
Oh, because it's so hard for you to think of one? Okay, we can just skip.
No, absolutely not. In fact, I had to cull this list down just to make sure that I met your criteria, Captain.
Amen.
Something that you spoke to liking in the first half is not something that I like at all.
Here's where you're wrong, sir.
You said that you love the music in this movie, albeit minus one theme. I didn't like any of the music. I found the music, the overall score, to be boring and completely unmemorable. It's just signature John Carpenter synth. And
there is a difference.
For me personally, it does nothing to enhance any emotionality in any of the scenes. It's just music playing, and it does nothing for me. It's forgettable, and I want to. And thankfully, since I've only seen it once and probably never will again, I'll never have to be reminded of the music from this movie.
Okay, so
you can say your piece, Francisco, but I have something to add to that after you. Okay,
great.
That is a fair take. But for someone who listens to a lot of synth, both retro new wave, old synth, like old movies with synth, and dungeon synth, there is a quality of John Carpenter synth that actually has more of a melody and more of like themes that you can sort of are memorable than a lot of the synth that comes out these days. It's where it's just it's peppy, it's poppy maybe, but it's not very as memorable. So
okay, I have two things to add.
Okay,
first of all, just because his doesn't stink as much as others doesn't mean it's not poo-poo, because I agree with Ashley that the music is one of the worst things about this film. Because while I think I agree with all of you here, because Drake, I agree with you. I love me some synthesized music, okay? Mm-hmm. And that intro, that first one, that intro music. Now, granted, it's over the credits that, the white text on black background.
Yep.
But it is so
slow and boring.
And it doesn't get better. I'm sorry. You think like the main theme is the worst? It's all garbage.
Oh my gosh.
He's just a John Carpenter apologist. So
I mean, I will say he is no Basil Polidoris. I will give you that, but he's up there. But all right, that's fine. That's my taste. I think that's probably says more to my taste.
Also my first dislike as well, Ashley.
So that's your first dislike as well, Paul.
Yes.
Not alone.
Drake, what did you not like about this film? I know it wasn't the music because that was like your classic.
I do want to mention, since you mentioned Ernest Borgnine's character, I do agree with that, although I hadn't thought of that as one of my dislikes, but you're right, with it being so Deus Ex Machina. But I do have sort of a fan theory as to why he was there. I almost feel like he lived because he said he lived there 30 years. He was driving 30 years. Well, it only been like 17 or whatever it was, or no, 9 years, because it was 88 when they made New York City into the prison.
And that was
from the
97.
And then it goes, and now it's 1997, right? I think he just lived there when they made the thing and he refused to leave.
He was enjoying the theater too much. He never came outside.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's my sort of pet theory.
No, that's a good point.
Yeah. I get that.
Because he'd been there so long. Maybe he hadn't, maybe he just loved the city so much that he just stayed.
I guess.
Yeah.
What do I got to do to stay? Punch a cop here?
Yeah, right?
So that's the thing you didn't like? That
No, I just wanted to say that because I had a theory about it, and I agreed with you on the other thing, and it was just kind of segment. I'm going to say, kind of not just the premise, but I'm going to say like the logistics of the situation. Because it's a city and it's isolated. You can't get in or out, right? Mm-hmm. So how do they get like food? You could throw some stuff in Central Park maybe, but
They actually answer this in the movie?
They answer it in the movie. They actually get food drops monthly in Central Park because they actually go in Central Park and they're actually conversing with some of the people and they make a mention. It's just a very brief mention.
They did make a brief mention about the end of the
saying,
month, and I was trying to remember that, and I couldn't. Okay.
Yeah, because they get a monthly food drop in Central Park.
What wasn't mentioned that they were hinting at, and according to the commentary, is that the crazies were cannibals.
Yes, I kind of picked up on that.
Yeah. All right. That was implied as well. But it's not just food, but like water, because you got pipes for water, and obviously, I mean, you know, they had some electricity and stuff, but it was more like they got generators to work, and there's just a lot of logistics in a city like that. You know, depending on how many people you have, where you just can't maintain it. Because again, this was the prison for all of the whole country. They put everyone in there.
Right.
And
which is a big bill if you're in Hawaii.
Right. Yeah. It's a little bit, you know, it's unrealistic in that sense.
Okay. Yeah. That's unrealistic.
Like, what if stuff breaks down and whatever? I mean, yeah, it's a prison, so they don't care, but there's you know, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm like, they had to figure it out. It's like shipping convicts down to Australia. They just have to figure it out.
I was going to say, I feel like it leaves you asking more questions than they answer in the movie.
Which I tend to like that, but okay.
Yeah, that's the problem with it is you ask questions, and it's just one of those things that seems like how they do it. That is, I'll get into it later about how that is good that they don't say.
Okay. Well, let's now go back to Ashley. What's something else you didn't like?
I know that you said that you really liked Kurt Russell, and I generally like Kurt Russell as an actor, but honestly, I find him so cold-hearted, so detached. It's really hard to connect to this main character. I know he's meant to be an anti-hero, but there's almost no reaction to him throughout this movie. He gets annoyed, he has all these setbacks, but he has almost no emotion. And I know that he's a war hero and he's gone through things, but I want to like my main character. I don't want to be like, okay, people to avoid.
I have a question.
Paul, yes.
Do you have to emotionally
hold on? I'm gonna have you restart this, Paul. But I just want to say, just for mainly for Paul, since you're here every week, but for anyone else, whenever you do this, don't do timeout unless it's like something critical is happening. Sorry. I need to go to the bathroom. Be like, someone is screaming next door. Yeah, you have to step away.
You're terminated.
Not. Hey, I want to break into the conversation. I don't know what we could do for that. Yeah. Like raise your finger or something. That would help me more.
Mr. Ruiz, I have a question.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so now that we have that out of the way, Paul, go ahead and say whatever you were going to say for the timeout.
So, Ashley, do you have to emotionally connect with someone to like them, in a movie?
Not necessarily. I mean, I want something out of these characters. Not that I'm going to relate to a war hero or a criminal or someone who's been thrust into sneaking into the world's the country's only and largest prison and all of these things. But there's nothing likable about him to me. And I know, Francisco, you're like, oh, he goes back and he tries to get Maggie out of there. But outside of that one moment, he really doesn't have any emotional reaction to literally anything happening in the movie. He watches Cabby die. His friend Harold dies, and he just keeps going on. I know he's like, time is of the essence.
He's about to die.
Oh, I know, but he just does not give any regard for these people who just died, and they risk their lives to save him and help him.
May I make a counterpoint?
Oh, no, not yet. Because you could, after I'd say my thing, I agree with you, Ashley. Like, he was in it for himself. In fact, when he turned around for the woman, I thought he wanted her to live for his sake, because that's his character, not for her sake.
Oh, interesting.
So go ahead.
Okay. My only pushback, and it's very slight, so I feel like it could be toppled. You could just blow on it and go down. But
House of Cards, okay, build it.
At the end, when he asked the president, "I just want a moment of your time," he's like, "Okay, what?" I want to know how you feel about all the people that died in there trying to get you out, something like that. I forget the exact line. He's like, yes, it's very, very sad. And the president doesn't seem to care. Like, the president is the one that seems heartless about it. Yeah. And that, I think I heard from at least the commentary I was listening to, that is the reason that he messes up the tape as sort of like to get back at the president for like, wow, all these people died and you don't seem to care one lick about it. So I think there is something about how he does care about these people. But I think, yes, his own life was at the forefront for sure.
Yeah. And it was all about saving his own and doing that first and foremost. And yeah, he's like, okay, he makes that point, but it still doesn't convince me that he cares about anybody other than himself.
All right.
And that's the kind of man that'll get this job done. That's why they got
him. No doubt he does, but it doesn't make me like him in any way, shape, or form.
Fair enough.
That's fair. It has me very curious, Ashley, and I don't know if you could think of this off the top of your head, but of all the movies you've seen, is there a character where you're like, man, I hate him, but I really like him too?
I'd have to really think about that.
Yeah, I don't even know if I can come up with that.
I mean, usually when people are written to be like unlikable in some way, or they're supposed to be like this main character who's like flawed, you're supposed to see something in them that you can relate with.
Yeah.
And honestly, like every John Carpenter movie I have ever seen, there has yet to be a single character that I can relate to because they're so out there.
It's all the reflexes.
You know what's interesting about that? Given what you just said, I feel like you would actually like The Thing just because those characters are very grounded. So if that's what you're looking for, maybe that's the one John Carpenter movie.
I was going to say, all the ones that I've seen, they have not been grounded.
Yeah, no,
they have been fantastical.
Yeah. Well, Star Wars is fantastical, but I see what you're saying about a character that you can relate to.
It writes its own rules, and in its universe, it makes sense. In John Carpenter's explanations of things, it doesn't always make sense. More on that later.
You have one thing later.
I know, and that's all I need. I'll wrap it up with a little
building.
bow.
She's building it up. She's world building.
Oh my goodness. Okay, Drake, what is another thing you disliked?
Like in the beginning, right? They hijack Air Force One.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like okay.
Oh, like how do you do that?
Yeah, like how do you do that? And that's why I was thinking, that's a good one where they didn't show how that happened. It's just, this happened, you just believe it. Just go ahead and believe it, because it happened. Doesn't matter how. And they didn't have to try and make some sort of like plausible scheme as to how that would happen. Because if you did, you'd be like, no, that's not going to work. You know, something like that.
So it sounds like a like to me.
It does sound like a like to me, yeah. Are you building towards a dislike, Drake? Which is fine.
It was a dislike because I still didn't buy it.
Okay.
But,
gotcha.
But yeah, so a little bit of both. But it was a dislike because I just like that's hokey. I mean, yeah, you have to do it to get the movie to happen.
Well, you got to understand this was like almost 20 years in the future, so the security wasn't as good because they like, hey, we don't have any trouble because we have everyone in an island. You know that causes trouble.
I don't know. There was a war on. I don't know. I could go into that. It's like
actually,
the politics of the situation was pretty.
Well, that's just it. This movie was actually written in 1974 in the mid 1970s, during the time where planes were being hijacked and there were hostage situations and political stuff going on.
Yeah,
and so
but commercial planes are not Air Force One.
Right. But they wanted that tone they wanted to raise the stakes in that. So I can see why they chose it, but how? Yeah, I agree. That's it's highly implausible.
Yeah. I was just like, wait a minute.
Well, what made you go, wait a minute, Paul, to this movie?
Okay, as a long time listener, first time guest, no, as a first time watcher of this film, granted it is made in 1980, 81, but I'm coming from the year 2026, and the effects don't hold up, unfortunately. All the blue screens, the rear projections,
the matte paint,
the models look like, is this a Godzilla movie now? Like, so a lot of the effects as well done as I think like the quote unquote computer generated ones, those animated ones hold up to, they're even better than like
actual computer generated ones
today. Right. Exactly. Yes, I agree with that. But the other effects that I mentioned, unfortunately, don't hold up, and it's glaring obvious. Looking at it from someone who has never seen this before, and you're going in to watch this, just something to be aware of.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Yeah.
For me, one more just like I have before we get to Tragic Makers is, and this is something that Ashley mentioned. I'm like, yeah, that is really cumbersome. That as much as like Kurt Russell, and so I will say, I like Kurt Russell as this character. I don't necessarily like this character so much, but I do like how Kurt Russell portrays this character. Anyway, that is back to my classic maker. Dislike, I don't like that he just wastes so much ammo on that door, that drywall door, just to plow through it. That seems like Ashley says, like, that's a waste of ammo. I'm like, I totally
have
agree.
so much.
That's the one place where I paused and had to go back, because when he busts through that wall, you can see his regular eye behind the eye patch.
I'm confused. Like, what do you mean? Like the eye patch wasn't there all of a sudden?
No, it was there, but it was when he busts through the wall, there's so much action, it moves to, and then when he turns, you can see his other eye.
Yep.
Like it's like a normal eye. And you're like, if his eye isn't messed up and you're in this kind of danger, you want to use both. It looks like it's just there for aesthetic. And in that kind of situation, you wouldn't want that for aesthetic. So,
gotcha. All right. Well, now it's not just for aesthetics. We're getting to our Tragic Makers. And I'm going to go first. Actually, this is sort of a bonus. Just like, those watching can see under my hand this amazing poster that does so much visual storytelling that is not in this movie.
Yeah, the Statue of Liberty's fine.
The Statue of Liberty's head is in the streets of Manhattan. People are running out of it. It's like, oh, that is so cool. What is that going on? And you don't see that in the movie. The Statue of Liberty,
it's not on Manhattan.
Yeah,
it's on Liberty Island. It's on its own island. Sorry,
I know.
It's still, which the marketing team thought, oh, this would be great, and then they were like, oh yeah. You're right, Francisco. I'm sure that John Carpenter this is so cool.
Yeah.
Too bad the movie's finished.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's like the Tremors poster all over again.
No. I like that the Tremors poster doesn't show what the actual creature looks like, but I see what you're saying, how it looks like a Jaws thing, but it doesn't look anything like that. That's a fair point.
Yeah.
Misrepresentation.
Also, a misrepresentation. Actually, not at all. I was hoping that was going to be a great lead to my Tragic Maker, but it wasn't. Crashing and burning here, guys. I'm going down like the Gulf Fires glider.
And like Air Force One.
Exactly. My Tragic Maker for this is, I felt like, honestly, if I'm being honest with myself, yes, I'll say that.
Honestly?
The pacing in this movie is sort of all over the place. Like, I feel like it goes woo, and then you're like coasting for a long time. Then there's a spike. When you get to the last, I feel like the last 30, 20 minutes, it does finally start to actually pace well and ramp up and get faster and faster till the point where he's like, gets right to the, like, I actually noticed myself holding my breath until the x-ray thing and then I was like able to like exhale, and I didn't realize I was even doing that, even though I've seen this movie several times. But before that, it's just like, okay, can we get going, please?
Right.
So that's
something happen. Let something happen.
Well, things do happen, but
they're not.
It doesn't build on its momentum. It just sort of like lets it like peter out. So
can I go off next, because that's exactly what mine is.
Oh, really?
Is
okay.
So slow and boring.
Oh my gosh! That's why I wondered if that was going to be yours, Paul. But yes, go ahead.
Okay, They have like 10 different scenes of them parking, I kid you not, 50 yards away, half a football field away, and then getting out and walking to their next destination, whether it's a door or whatever. And it's just so slow paced. Now, if you did some modern day editing to it, you'd have a nice half-hour TV show for this movie. But
it's not that extreme, but okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
They wanted you to know how they got from location A to location B, just like in a James Wen movie. Yeah. All the parking and driving.
Yeah,
but here you go. This movie did it first, in vehicles and on foot.
The cabbie parks a block away and then walks to Brain's house. That doesn't.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Who does that?
That was weird. Yeah.
This movie is so slow that it is my tragic maker.
All right. Very fair. Drake, what is your tragic maker?
There are so many things I could say. I could say like the confusing politics of it, that you don't know what's going on and what the message is with that. I could say that there's like so many hokey things in it, possibly. But I don't know. That's kind of a good thing, because it's supposed to be an action movie over the top. So my tragic maker is going to be the sound effects on his gun.
They were horrible. Cartoony.
That was the worst.
And even the hitting. I mean, like, at least steal from Indiana Jones if you're going to hit people. Like,
I thought the hitting sounded fine, but okay.
No, I could barely hit it. Are they wrestling? Are they hitting? Like,
yeah. But the gun, when it went off, it was just muffled sounding, and it wasn't like it was supposed to be a suppressor or something like that on it.
Yeah, that's exactly what was on it. It was like an Uzi with a big suppressor on it.
Well, then maybe it was accurate, but it just didn't. It didn't go boom, and I like go boom. It's action movie, boom.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
That really just sounded off, and I was listening to it with headphones.
Mm-hmm.
So I could really hear it. It just threw me out of it. I was just like, what is that? Right? But it just threw me off every time I heard, or almost every time I heard that thing going off in a few spots. It was just like, it was, I didn't like it.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Yeah.
All right. So that leaves Ashley. Let me cue up the Duel of Fates. What is your tragic maker, Ashley?
Well, I think Drake already spoke to this a little bit, how logistics and all these other things, it's like, how in the world does that make sense? So for me, and this often is my tragic maker for so many films, and probably will continue to be, but it is the suspension of disbelief. You're asking too much of me as a viewer to find so much of this believable. First off, you're telling me that crime increased 400% and that they decided to take one of the wealthiest cities in the world, wall it off, and make it a prison, the only prison in a country of over 300 million people. They're going to police themselves, and you're only going to put guards on the outside. You're not going to do anything about the electricity there, the water. You're going to do food drops once a month. None of it makes sense. Manhattan is where Times Square is. It is where Wall Street is. It is, again, one of the wealthiest cities in this country. Mm-hmm. It has a theater district. It has all these things going. So, John Carpenter, couldn't you have used something else? Why did he use Manhattan? It is not believable.
Australia.
It's just... And the fact that they're able to develop gasoline and jerry-rig all this stuff and basically kind of peacefully coexist, you would expect like more deaths, more people killing each other off and all this whatnot. But it asks too much of me as a viewer. And because it does that and it doesn't make any darn sense, I'm out.
Sorry, you lost me at the premise. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I'm like, you can't.
Yes.
It's unrealistic. If it was anywhere else and it was like a walled city on an island, yeah, maybe that would be better. But you have to use New York. and you have to set it in 1997, and you have to make it the only prison in the United States, and it has to be walled. It's too far-fetched. It's disillusioned. No.
As much as it doesn't make sense, at least they did a good job explaining of what.
And they made it look great. They made it look great. Like it's a great replica of New York.
Yeah.
They did a great job there, but still, it's too far-fetched. It's unbelievable because it's not like you're even setting it in an alternate reality per se. But pick somewhere else, John Carpenter. New York is not a believable location. Even though it's falling into disarray and there's garbage everywhere, it is still one of the financial capitals of the world. They have a theater district. They have all this stuff going. They would never just cut it off and wall it off. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right, go.
Okay. Let me say, and I mentioned this after we watch it, just you and I, but just for in its defense, we're talking about 70s New York City, not Giuliani's cleaned up beautiful New York City.
Care.
This is 70s crime rampant.
No.
And everything in New York City. So I think it's a little different outlook on what it would be if that kept going.
I will give you the credit, Francisco. It is a little different, but it's not different enough.
No, it's not. That's Francisco's fabulous fan fiction right there.
You?
Being an apologist as to setting the premise for this movie and defending it, because no, I'm sorry. Even when New York was more seedy and disgusting and unkempt, it still was one of the wealthiest cities in the United States, nay the world. It is one of the most populous cities. People go to visit it. Even back then, they might have been like guarding their purse a little bit more and feeling like they were walking in Gotham City a little bit, going, okay, is this my Batman origin story? But it's just too unbelievable, and I just can't.
New York City!
Pick somewhere else. Wall off another island. Set it somewhere else. I would have bought into that movie. I would have bought into that.
Actually, you're saying that New York's the wealthiest city, but I think Fort Knox is pretty wealthy.
Not the wealthiest.
It's not a location where people live. There's armed guards, but people don't. It's not a It's not a place where you can reside, Francisco.
There's Fort Knox, Kentucky, USA. I'm sure there's people that live around there.
Go pitch a tent and go live there. You can watch your movie on like a portable DVD player because you love it so much.
Oh, Bobo, we got a news flash from Bobo. This just in. Movie is unrealistic. What? Oh my gosh. But
yeah, it really is.
Okay. So now that we have entered all our targeting information into the firing computer, Alice, do you have a firing solution for us?
Firing solution complete. Rating salvo armed and ready to fire on your mark.
All right, it's time for the moment of truth. Do we rate Escape from New York a classic? If you've never seen it before, then definitely seek it out. Not to mention, a rewatch is totally worth your time. Do we rate it a nostalgic? If you've enjoyed it before, then you'll enjoy it again if you're in the mood for an action thriller type movie. But if you've never seen it, watch it once for the memes, maybe on 2x speed, knowing that you could end up really liking it or really loathing it. It's sort of a coin flip there. Or do we rate it a tragic? If you've never seen it before, then keep it that way for sure. And if you have seen it before, don't sell any good memories you have of it with a rewatch. So let's start with our guests as we like to. Ashley, you had predicted tragic. Where did it end up for you?
Where did it end up for me? All right. This was the third John Carpenter movie that I have seen.
Yes.
And like the first and the second, I did not enjoy this movie. I had to really
Three strikes, you're out.
for things that I liked. And yes, I often stick to baseball outs. 3 strikes, I'm out. So tragic. I'm sorry. John Carpenter, these movies are not for me.
And
they are for somebody, but they are not for me. Yes. Tragic.
If you look over, you can see who they're made for.
Yes. I know. He's got the Steelbook. He's got a whole collection.
Yeah.
And it's great that he loves these movies, but honestly, I think I would have been better off never having seen this movie or any John Carpenter movie for that matter.
No.
They're not for me. And that's okay.
All right. That's fair. Okay, so your prediction held true.
And knowing is half the battle.
Wow. Drake, you had predicted classic. I'm very curious if it maintained that for you or if it changed at all.
Well, I was watching it and I wasn't sure because I was like, well, do I really like this? And I thought, well, maybe it would go down, and you know, and it's, you know, especially as I'm going in, like, this is kind of hokey, you know, I'm thinking that, but overall, I just really, really enjoyed watching it again. So I am going to have to go with classic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Classic still. Wow. All right. So we have opposing views here, a classic and a tragic. Before we get to me and Paul's reign, we go to You Are Fire Guard that support the podcast. Thank you so much for your support. And you, in a vote from 2 to 1, rate Escape from New York a classic. So we have 2 classics going now.
I want to sing something from Scrubs that Dr. Cox would do. It's his wrong jingle. He's like, to like a cuckoo clock. He's like, wrong, 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 wrong. You're wrong.
You're
wrong.
Saying that about your own rating.
No,
okay. You can retract it. It's not too late, Ashley.
Nope.
All right, Paul, you had predicted classic.
Yeah.
I am very doubtful that maintained that, but what is your final rating, Paul?
As someone who watched it for the first time, and I like I said, it is so slow. I'm going to rate it a tragic because I would not recommend watching. It is so slow. This feels, and I was shocked, it feels like it's very amateurish. Some of the shots, some of the scenes, some of the cuts, some the cinematography, I was not impressed by compared to modern day stuff. I was really hoping for some more. And I like Kurt Russell as an actor, but Ashley, I don't have to connect with him emotionally, but when he is just so soft spoken, they can barely like hear him, and he's slow moving. He's not a very interesting character for me to latch on and root for. So you can call me pauljhater.com. That's fine. But you know, if you want to see a Kurt Russell / Carpenter movie, I would recommend Big Trouble in Little China. But if you want to see a better movie with Kurt Russell, I would recommend a Stargate. Or if you want to see a better movie with a guy wearing an eye patch, even better, it would be One-Eyed Willie and the Goonies. So
go watch him in Overboard. His character, he's a jerk. He's a jerk, but he's fun.
He is
right. There are plenty of Kurt Russell movies out there. If you want Kurt Russell movie I really would recommend is Follow Me, Boys. There's just a lot of good stuff out there, but this is not one of them.
All right. Wow. So we have 2 tragics and 2 classics.
Tiebreaker, Francisco?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I wrote down nostalgic, but that would be essentially a draw. So, you know what? I'm gonna show my John Carpenter card and great classic. So there, classic movie.
Wait. Wow. Are you lying?
No. About what?
Because you wrote nostalgic and now you're changing your mind just because like the going got tough.
Okay, Paul, tell me how we're supposed to do this. I mean, we could average it to nostalgic, I suppose.
Yeah.
That's how it's supposed to go.
Right.
Split the difference.
It doesn't have to go that way.
I know it doesn't have to. I mean, it's not.
Join the right side of history. Change your mind and be like, I like Kurt Russell and I like the music, but you know what? Ashley's right. This movie is so unrealistic. And I have to suspend my disbelief, and I want to rate it tragic because my wife is right.
The only reason it's a nostalgic is because of the pacing. If it was at a faster clip and built momentum, it would absolutely be a classic. But it has nothing to do with what you said.
Here's the thing. It's touted as this action thriller, but it's a misnomer. It is. It's like crawling like you're expecting. It's
an action thriller for the 80s. It's not much of a thriller for today. That's for sure.
But even other action thrillers from the 80s, this is like It's like you're waiting for something to happen. You're likely to fall asleep.
Whoa. What other action thriller from the 80s are you comparing this to?
I got nothing for you.
Because
I'm just being ridiculous.
Go back to the 70s and you go back to the 70s and you have Alien, you have Jaws, you have
those aren't thrilling. Those are slow too.
It's like this movie makes me want to go watch Top Gun. It's more entertaining. Top Gun for me is more entertaining than this movie. This is what you've done to me. And Top Gun for me is tragic too. But at least stuff happens.
What?
The characters are compelling.
There's things that happen all over the place in this movie. Oh my God.
Yeah. You're killing me, slow and boring manner.
All right. So yeah, I will secede and stick with my original nostalgic reign. So according to the Retro Rewind podcast, we rate Escape from New York a highly, highly, highly disputed.
A contentious?
Sure, contentious. I'm not going to add different words now because that'll just throw things off and make things confusing. Yes, it's very contentious.
Yeah.
Highly disputed nostalgic film. If you've seen it before, watch it again. I think you'll still enjoy it. If you've never seen it before, maybe give it a chance. If you're like more in the Francisco Drake camp,
don't watch it at 2x speed. Watch it at 4x speed.
You need 4x speed.
How dare
and then
you
it'll
people.
be over
in
less than 30 minutes. It'll actually seem like something's happening.
You won't know what's happening because it's going by so fast.
No.
All right. I'll give you a chance.
At
3x speed.
3x speed. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, 3x speed. Perfectly paced in every way.
All right. Well, we're just going to get to the outros now, guys. My spirit's broken.
Well,
where should we go, Paul?
I don't feel so bad.
Well, let's go to the broken spirit of 20XX.
Yeah.
Calm sat online, awaiting incoming transmissions.
Transmissions.
It feels so sad to be back. But we wouldn't have been able to travel back to 1981 to begin with if it weren't for our amazing fire guard. First off, our fire knights, Deborah Powers, Dustin He's a Big Deal Warford, Kennethan, and Flux. And our fire guards, Ashley Ruiz. Oh, you're right here.
Woohoo!
Brandon Scott, Dale, Daryl Hafner, Driv the Cellcast, D Tungsten. Oh, you're here too.
Me.
Woo! Fabulous Lomax, Geek Devotions, Gaiden, Mary Kay Cronbitter, Cool Deluxe, Redeemed Otaku, Ryan Frostad. That's our Babo, in addition to one other awesome patron as well. Thank you all so much for keeping the gigawatts coming. And if you want to help us, and if you want to help keep us flying and get bonus content for your generosity, head over to firejoystudios.com/support to start.
Hey, Francisco, are there any complimentary ways to show some support?
Yes, you can tell Ashley and Paul how wrong they are about Escape from New York. No, just kidding.
Hashtag justice for empire.
Hashtag justice for escape.
It does not need justice.
My own hashtag.
We'll have warring hashtags and mine will get more traction because more people like that movie than this one.
Man, that sounds like a fun thing, like warring hashtags. It'll be like Team Womp and Team Smoke.
But you have to wait until after Easter because I'm not on.
Oh, yeah. No, that's fair.
You got to wait. Yeah. But I'll war with you, Warlord.
All right. Not the Warlord.
Yes, you are.
Anyway, to answer your question, Paul, yes, you can compliment us with a 5-star review on your preferred podcast player. But better yet, you likely enjoyed this episode if you made it this far. So if you aren't driving, tap the share icon in your podcast player for this episode and send it to a friend saying, I know you like Escape from New York or you want to hear people badmouth it. So I thought you would like this podcast about it.
Cool. And I'll bet they'll thank you for it.
Of course they will.
And speaking of thanking people, we want to give a big constricting snake hug to our guest hosts for joining us today and supporting us with their thoughts about Escape for New York. And since I like to go to alphabetical order, we'll start with Ashley Ruiz. Thank you so much for bearing through this movie and the review.
Yeah, thanks for having me on once again.
And Drake Tungsten, thank you so much for coming on and supporting us with your thoughts about this possibly classic movie.
Possibly.
Yes, thank you. If you want to see some of my content, you could go to my YouTube channel. which
is what?
Yeah, it's YouTube at Drake Tungsten 74.
Drake Tungsten 74. Very nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Ashley, Drake, my Snake Plissken friend, Paul. Or no, what did you say you were? You were the
Rooster.
Rooster, yeah. My Rooster friend, Paul. And all the artist Value Trick for enhancing our music, and all you rewinders new and old for another fun voyage.
This podcast is a proud member of Culture Box. Whether you enjoy geeky reviews, comedy, or original fiction, you can open up the Culture Box and find something excellent for your soul. Point your web browser to culturebox.media.
Much better music. Anyway, as the president of what just said, we are now part of the Culture Box Media Network. Find all the shows unpacking truth through story, comedy, and geekery at culturebox.media.
Thank you, EXO, and thank you for listening. We pray you are more joyful today than when you first hit play. But like a Pokemon, we gotta catch you all for Cocoon, our next adventure on the Retro Rewind Podcast.
Retro Rewind mission complete. Proceed to base to await next mission.
You gonna kill me now, Snake?
I'm too tired. Maybe later.
Yes, maybe you guys will give it a classic rating later. We'll watch it again, retake this episode, we'll redo it. It'll be okay.
Nope.
I swear, the more you watch this, the more you like it.
Watch it until you vote correctly.
I cook your dinner. Don't forget that.